You, the average chess YouTube viewer. As an average chess YouTube viewer, you've probably seen your fair share of opening videos teaching bad openings, with a little trick that maybe some decent players might fall for. But the opening you're about to see is not only incredibly rare, but severely underestimated by both bad chess players and really strong chess players alike. Besides owning some of the opening ideas in this video, I'll also show you games that both my friend and I have played against international masters, grandmasters, and one of these grandmasters has been ranked as high as in the top 60 players in the world. That grandmaster lost to this gambit. This opening in particular, there really isn't any material online or on YouTube covering it. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the Midladder Menace Gambit. I'd be willing to bet a lot of people have seen this position before. I'd also be willing to bet a lot of people have seen this position from the famous opera game. Levi Roseman of Gotham Chess even called this the most famous chess game of all time. I don't personally agree with that, but safe to say, many people have seen this position. In short, Paul Morphy played against two dinguses who got absolutely crushed playing a bad opening. However, you'll notice in the game, after Morphy took this pawn, the two dinguses did not actually gambit anything, they just lost. So where is this gambit? Well, instead of following the opera game with bishop takes f3, I present to you the super move, knight to d7. I understand this opening has several names already. Some people say it's supposed to be called the Albin Blackburn Gambit, or the Alapin Blackburn Gambit, or the Philidor Gambit, but truth is, I don't care. I think Midladder Menace Gambit is a much better name. Anyway, so we sacrifice a pawn, and after pawn takes d6, bishop takes d6, what exactly have we gotten for the sacrifice? We have two active bishops working. If white castles kingside at any point, the bishop on d6 will serve as an incredible attacking piece, with threats of sacrifices or checkmate all abound. In addition, the e4 pawn might look scary, but it's actually a bit of a weakness, since black can develop their pieces while attacking it and preparing for a big attack against the white king. Now, the first game I'll show is a game I played against a strong international master. Not only is this guy an international master, but he's also an incredibly strong blitz player as well. He has a peak rating close to 2900 and currently is ranked in almost the top 1000 players on chess.com. The game actually started off from a different move order than the traditional way. One advantage of the Midladder Menace Gambit is that you can play it against both e4 and d4. I know it sounds crazy, but after the moves e4 and e5, here we have transposed to the gambit. One thing I personally like about the Midladder Menace Gambit is that it's also really simple to play. Against just about anything white does, we develop in the same way. Our kingside knight goes to f6 to pressure the pawn on e4, the queen goes to e7 to pressure the pawn on e4 and prepare for queenside castling with further tactics down the line. The only time we might not develop in this way is if white does something like batshit insane. My opponent here actually loses the game quite quickly to a fairly common opening mistake that you guys will probably get several times in your own games. The anonymous international master guy plays a very natural move, bishop to g5. His idea is that he simply pins me and maybe wants to go with knight d5 later to pressure my position. However, he overlooks a simple tactic, bishop takes f3. The game isn't actually immediately lost, however he plays the losing mistake very quickly. He takes back with the bishop immediately, and now we see why we have the queen on e7 and why the bishop on d6 is such a good attacking piece. Queen e5 and the game is lost. I'm threatening the bishop on g5 and also a checkmate. He plays on a little bit and defends the mate, but I missed up a bishop and I won the game very easily after that. Grandmaster begins with the move e4, d6, a rather strange move order, which I don't personally play, but it works anyway. So after d4, e5, knight f3, bishop g4, now we get to the same opening. Grandmaster boldly takes the pawn, and we reach our gambit as usual. Notice how the development is the same, knight f6, queen a7. Now h3 is a very testing line. Both bishop h5 and bishop takes f3 are possible. My friend chooses to play bishop f3, which removes the defending knight from the king side while giving up bishop for knight. Nevertheless, black still has good long-term compensation and attacking chances. Bishop f3, castles, castles, h5, and now h4, very strong move because white is a grandmaster. h4 is actually probably the most annoying move to deal with, given that it simply just walls up the attack, but it does give knight g4, a very interesting attacking possibility. The GM in fact just allows it straight up, and then he lets everything happen. h4 as intended, grabs a third pawn. White is up 3 pawns here, and my friend wisely chooses to not take the pawn back. If he had taken, this runs into a little bit of trouble with bishop g5, with the skewer. Not very pleasant, so he wisely decides, nope, queen e6, no counterplay for the GM. Now f3 overlooks a very brilliant tactical shot, which is very hard to see for just anyone, knight f2. And now it's a world of hurt for the GM. Rook takes, h takes, wins a rook, then knight f3. If bishop takes f3, obviously rook takes knight. f5, trying to muddle the waters, but queen e4. f7, knight takes d2. Aesthetic queen sacrifice wins a knight, and we can see that Black is totally winning. Black is up a whole rook. The GM plays it on for just a little bit more, but at this point there's really no use to it. My friend actually sacks his rook for the pawn just to make things simpler, because this endgame is just going to be an easy win, and White resigns. This game, my friend did not actually win, but it's still very important to show. He was playing against a Grandmaster. Grandmaster to white, e4, d6. I don't know why he did this move order. It's very unusual to me. d4, e5, knight f8, bishop g4. And the Grandmaster here chooses not to take the pawn, instead go bishop to e2. Now, the point I want to make here with this game is that even GMs are a little bit afraid of the complications ahead of the Midladder Menace Gambit.